one of the things I love about the things that you do, Skip, is that you're very open about your family. You put it out there, the struggles, the things that you've been through, what motivates you. That's really cool. A lot of people, that's tough to do. They're worried about being judged and all that stuff. But not only do you talk about it, share wisdom on social media, but you also put that in book form, which is awesome. So talk to me about these books that you've put together, and what's the motivation behind that?
Sure. Well, that particular book that I wrote, Letters to Judah. So Judah is my youngest son. Right. He's the youngest of 6.
Yeah.
Back in 2019, he went into the Marine Corps, and he's still there. But when he was in boot camp, the Marines encouraged us as parents to write our soldiers, Marines, every day to keep them encouraged. And I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to write every day? My life is not that exciting. I'm going to run out of content, So what I decided to do is I decided to write out all of my favorite quotes, scriptures, and sayings.
You got a copy of it here. Yeah. Let's take a look at it. Yeah,
so
amazing.
I compiled all of my favorite sayings, and each day in a letter I wrote out to him, what that saying meant to me, how I applied it to my life, how he could apply it to his life, and sent it to him in a letter. And then after he graduated from boot camp, I compiled all those letters and put it into a book form.
Yeah, this is my favorite one. So there's several in here that I love, but because it goes back to some of the things you've already talked about. So just giving you guys an excerpt of what he's talking about. Hey, Judah, we just received your letter explaining about the medical issues. I know God has you now, right where he wants you, completely dependent upon him. Although it's not a pleasant place to be, it's always the best place you can be when everything is out of your control and all you have to depend on is God. It's here that you will learn total surrender when your world could come crashing down on you at any time. I can speak this from experience. And then you go on to explain it, a little bit more, but I love that. I love hearing that, and because I think about the times in my life when I've been through some tough times. Losing my mom, right? Some other issues that we've had. I went through a lot of anxiety and panic problems after Afghanistan, after I was deployed out there.
Yep.
And I know exactly what you're describing, of that place of just surrender and how scary it is, and to have, your voice, coming at him saying, hey, it's okay. God's got it. I mean, that is cool. That's some good stuff, man. So I love that you shared that, absolutely.
Yeah. And by the way, if anybody, I wrote these books to benefit people. So if anyone out there wants a copy of this, all you have to do is ask me for it.
Yeah.
If we're not, if you're not following me on Facebook, go ahead and follow me, and you can just send me a message through Facebook, and I'd be more than happy to send you a copy of that free of charge, because I just, again, I just love to pour into people, in any way, whether it's through social media or books or whatever. I just like the opportunity to share my life and the things I've experienced with other people.
Well, and I think about people who weren't fortunate enough to have an active father in their lives. So Judah obviously did, empowered him going through that training. And I'm Air Force, so not quite as difficult as what he went through, but I remember getting letters like that when I was going through training, and how empowering that is. But not everybody's that fortunate. Unfortunately, that's just, the hardships of life. And so holding on to some of that advice, because it's just as applicable to any other person going through a tough thing. And it goes back to what we're talking about of how you kind of frame social media. That's helpful whether you're male, female, whether you're young, old. That place of surrender and putting your hope and your trust in the right place is applicable to anybody going through a tough time. I love that, man. It's so wonderful.